This is an It Came From Gen X video.
Okay, guys, just a couple of things this day in music that caught my attention. In 2017, Jim Burns, the co-creator of MTV's iconic MTV Unplugged series, passed away. This show, iconic is a great word for it because they did not have any idea of the success that this show would have. It was great seeing some of your favorite artists rearrange and reproduce their songs in an acoustic fashion, and some of the performances were just outstanding, and they were very diverse too. You had everything from Jay-Z to some metal bands and things like that. I'll never forget some of the performances I saw that blew me away. Number one it was my favorite band back then, Queensryche. I thought it was maybe the greatest rock unplugged performance I had ever saw. The Lady Wore Black, if you have not heard that on Unplugged, it is mind-blowing. They were so brilliant sounding. The whistling and all that stuff, the acoustic play was incredible. Also, when Mariah Carey did some of her stuff and the Christmas stuff Unplugged, I thought that was outstanding too. Do you guys remember Unplugged? What was your favorite act Unplugged, Fish? And who would you like to see do an Unplugged if it came back?
Tell you what, one of my favorites was when Kiss came back on in the later 90s, so mid-90s.
Yes.
And they had this is when Ace and Peter got back with them to play in that Unplugged. First of all, very, very solid album. It's a very good acoustic set that Kiss did.
Yes.
With their members at the time, which had Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer, and then Gene and Paul. And then Ace and Peter came on. And then that was the catalyst of the huge Kiss reunion tour that they had back then with the makeup and the whole thing there. So
I don't know if you guys know this, but I worked the Kiss reunion tour.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was one of the greatest thrills of my life. And I was on stage with them as they did an acoustic set. And it was utterly incredible. They told security, just take off, go. They're like, what? It's like, just go. They took all the barriers down, so everybody come right to the edge of the stage, sit on the ground so everybody can see. And you know what? It was so peaceful, not a problem. And they just said, what do you want to hear? And people were calling out songs. I thought I knew all the Kiss songs. They were calling out songs I never heard in my life. They talked for 20 seconds, and they would play it perfectly. It was brilliant to watch. That was a big thrill for me. So, yeah, that was a great set.
That's great.
Excuse me.
And then for who I'd like to see, I think maybe they've already done it. I don't know, but I think it'd be interesting to see like a Metallica do an acoustic set like that. I think that would be cool. And then maybe some of the classic bands too that are, like bring on like if they somehow could convince like the remaining the living members of Led Zeppelin to come back and do something like that, or that would be phenomenal. I think something like that. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Skinner, any memorable Unplugged set you recall?
You were talking about Queensryche. I went back and looked. They did theirs in 1992.
Wow.
Now, just like you, I was a huge Queensryche fan growing up. As a young teenager and a young adult, my Aunt Sherry, who's in town for Christmas this past week, she's only 5 years older than me. She's my dad's youngest baby sister. Mm-hmm. When we were in high school and growing up, I went everywhere with her, and she took me to many, many shows. Queensryche was one of them. I was introduced by them, by Sherry and her at her time. It was her fiance, Rex, was his name. They introduced me to Queensryche, but in that same year, Pearl Jam came on.
Yeah.
In 93. I was out there where they're from, which is out in the West Coast in Washington State. And Pearl Jam did a performance that was pretty incredible as well. I remember that very vividly. Say what you will, some people, you either love them or hate them when it comes to the grunge from the Pacific Northwest, but Pearl Jam really put that type of genre of music on the map.
Absolutely.
Others
I
will
was a
say
huge Pearl Jam fan when it came out.
Yeah, others will say it was Nirvana. Others will say it was this, that, and other. But I think Pearl Jam was the one that really puts a spotlight on that type of music.
Pearl Jam initiated it. I mean, Nirvana initiated it, but Pearl Jam took it to another level.
They did. And I'm with Fish as far as who I'd like to see unplugged. Yeah. I would love to see Metallica come and do it, even after all these years.
I think that would be interesting hearing James Hetfield singing, to slow acoustic stuff.
It would be. But I would also see with more recent music, because of what they've done, I'd like to see Disturbed do something unplugged.
I think Disturbed would knock it out the park without question.
With his voice, and
we got a glimpse of that when he redid the
Simon and Garfunkel.
The Simon and Garfunkel song.
Sound of Silence.
We can kind of get a little glimpse of what that would be like. For me, there would be two bands that I think I would love to hear unplugged. Number one would be Ultra Bridge. Of course, this is the band with the members from Creed and the lead singer Miles Kennedy, who was with Slash. Miles Kennedy and Slash. I think they were just they're one of the most phenomenal new bands. They're not new, but bands I've heard in a while, and I think they would be crack. Bullet for My Valentine would be another one. There's a band I've been listening to. I think they are just utterly amazing. I think they're the most underrated band out there right now. And one more, I would love to hear what Dream Theater would put together in an unplugged set. I think that would be mind blowing as well. So
that's an interesting choice.
All right. Okay, so that's all I got for sports and music, guys. Let's get some pop culture, Fish.
All right. Dream Theater Unplugged, each song 45 minutes long.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding.
They'd have to make some alterations, So.
Yeah, right. This is the edited version.
Yeah.
35 minutes long.
Hey, this is Skinner from ItCameFromGenX. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and like, and we'll see you next time.